Did you know that Hatsumi Sensei once told me that the bonsai is really you and me?
What?
Hey, did you ever see a bonsai? You know, little plant, little tree. You know the one that Mr. Miyagi was always carefully cutting while Daniel was waxing off all the time? Did you know that Hatsumi Sensei once told me that the bonsai is really you and me?
What?
I guess we're gonna have to visit a bonsai garden, aren't we? Now, before we go anywhere in Japan during the summertime, you're gonna need a few things. It's like going on safari, for real. I highly recommend these arm covers by Uniqlo. Wide brim hat with a tail? Absolutely. Good pair of sunglasses, essential. Sunscreen, good sandals. Look, if you're coming to Japan here in the summertime, you gotta be prepared. Because if you're from some cool, nice country like Canada, you're gonna melt when you're here. So this reminds me of my friend Russ from Canada. It was October here in Japan, and it was nice and cool, beautiful weather. We're all wearing long pants, long sleeves, jackets, some hats. It's a beautiful fall day. And I see Russ coming down the street towards my house. And I look again because he's in short sleeves and short pants. And he comes walking up to me and he's breathing hard. And this man is sweating. I mean, he is totally wet.
Wow!
And he says to me, man, this heat and this humidity, I can't take it. And this is a cool, kind of chilly fall day. And I said, Russ, this is not hot at all. I said, if this is hot, what kind of weather, what kind of temperature do you like? I kid you not. He looks straight at me and says, -30.
What? I'm freezing!
And I know some people out there will be like, hey, Paul, what are you doing? It's just a little sun. Why don't you get some vitamin D? It's good for you. But I also know that I'm from Miami, Florida. Me and my friends were like 6, 7, 8, down at the ocean by ourselves. No shirt, no shoes, no hat, no sunglasses, no sunscreen. Sunscreen? Hell no, baby. We had suntan oil. Parental vision wasn't happening. This is the early 70s, my friend. It was a wild time. You gotta remember, this is the era where smoking Marlboros and eating McDonald's, that shit was good for you.
Yummy, yummy, yum.
We were 6, 7, 8, 9, down at the ocean by ourselves. I can't imagine letting my son do that. Are you kidding me? I don't know how he survived. And my little friends, Donnie and Tommy Cruz, they were from a Latino family. So they're out there in the sun, getting nice and brown. I was so jealous. I didn't understand. Why are they getting brown and I'm getting red, going home at night, crying and watch my skin fall off? I was like that guy from Batman. I'm surprised I still look like a human. Then watching all the people in Florida around you getting skin cancer, everyone's like, I wonder why we're getting skin cancer. Oh man, that sun. And we got about a half kilo walk. I think we made it. Omiya Bonsai Bijutsukan.
休んだら、
あ、すごいね。外がメインなの？
そうですね、メインはお庭と、あと今は展示が石なので、水石の展示がギャラリーの中にいます。
That's where we've got to go, outside, and check those bonsais out. All right, let's get to the story now. So over my 30 years here in Japan, I often had the privilege of translating for Hatsumi Sensei. And with translating for Hatsumi Sensei, you must translate the questions that people have for Hatsumi Sensei and those answers. Now, when I was young and more stupid than I am now, I used to think when people would ask these questions, what a stupid question. And then Hatsumi Sensei would answer in some beautiful, elegant, deep way that made me realize that actually I was the idiot. Just like that meme. Look at me, I'm the idiot now. And it was humbling. He just literally crushed me. He was answering other people's questions, but actually crushing me because I had all these preconceived ideas and notions. You know, when you're young, you think you know a lot. And then you realize as you get older that, you know what? I don't know a lot. Just look at this chart. I love this chart. See that little sliver of green? That's the shit you know. You see the little sliver of blue, a little bit bigger than the sliver of green? Well, that's the shit you know you don't know. And then there's the rest of the universe. That's the shit that you don't even know you don't know. That shit's humbling. If that don't humble you, I don't know what will. But if you know this, then you can relax and let some of your preconceived ideas and notions fall away, and you'll probably enjoy life a lot more. One day, a Dai Shihan comes to the dojo, and he asks me to translate a question. He says, why are people nice to you in front of your face and then mean behind your back? And my initial reaction was like, what? Because he's a grown man. And then I thought, oh, wait, put away your preconceived ideas, put away your small-mindedness. Ask Sensei. So I say, Sensei, he wants to know, why are people nice to your face but mean behind your back? And Sensei, when he was taking a break during training after he had painted, he would be sitting there and he'd start tapping his fingers sometimes when he was thinking. And he says, well, tell him that's how people are made. So I look over and I said, well, Sensei says that's the way people are made.
Huh?
I said, yeah, I don't know. That's what he told me. And Sensei was silent for a moment and he's still tapping his fingers. And he says, Paul, tell him that's the way people are made. Okay, deja vu. He says, tell you that's the way people are made. And the guy's like, I'm like, I don't know. I'm just the translator. That's all he's given me. Sometimes being the translator was quite a difficult job. So Sensei's thinking for a minute and he says to me, Paul, have you ever seen a bonsai? This took me by surprise. I was shocked because the day before, literally the evening before, I had taken a bunch of my friends and I'd taken them to this bonsai garden that we used to have in Noda. And there is no way, there's absolutely no way Sensei knew I was there. It's just impossible.
No way. Not this time.
But somehow he asks me, have you ever seen a bonsai? I was really shocked. And I was like, yeah, I was at a bonsai garden yesterday with some friends. He says, oh, that's good. He says, did you see how the bonsai were made? Well, that's how we make people. Let me show you what he's talking about. Welcome to the Bonsai Museum. The outside viewing area is absolutely beautiful with a great selection of masterclass bonsai. Just look at some of these. The inside viewing area is also spectacular. When I visited, they were having a rock bonsai exhibition inside. There's even a room dedicated for children where children can learn all about bonsai. They can make Lego bonsai. They can make their own bonsai from little plastic beads and a host of other activities. This is a really great museum and I highly recommend it if you have some time on your next trip to Japan. But what I didn't know is that these bonsai are prime time, ready for display, ready for viewing bonsai, which means that not one of them had the thing which I wanted to show you. It's almost like I should have called ahead.
I haven't got a brain.
And just when I thought my trip was for nothing, a savior appears, a veritable Superman of bonsai. And he was happy to lead me to the one and only tree in the whole garden that had what I was looking for, that had what I wanted to show you.
Several long days later.
Now let's get back to Sensei's story when he said, Paul, that's how people are made. Just like the bonsai. Did you see the wires? Wires? That's right, because on a bonsai, it's not just cutting the tree into shape. You actually have to wrap wires around every branch, even around the trunk of the tree to force it into a shape, to constrict it into a shape. Look at this tree here. Every branch from the base to the tip, everywhere on this tree is constricted. Even the branches and trunks have hooks to force the tree, to constrict the tree into a certain form. And this is you, and this is me. That's why Sensei said you have to be so careful with your religions, with your philosophies, with the way you think, with all the isms that you believe, the communism, the capitalism, the socialism. All of these are man-made. You can make a person any way you want. You can make them Christian, you can make them Muslim, you can make them Mormon, you can make them a Scientologist, you can make them a philosopher, you can make them love something so much when they see a certain symbol, they get tears in their eyes. Or you can make them hate something so much that when they see a certain symbol, they take out their knives and their guns and they're ready to kill. And if you understand this deeply, it can bring about a great sense of compassion for others within you, which I believe is related to the heart of the warrior, Kajo Chikusei, which I made a video about here. Don't let what you think or believe ruin your life, because often those are just wires that have been wrapped around you without you even knowing it. And it's not your fault because you've been being wrapped with these wires since the day you popped out. First, your mom and dad been wrapping wires around you, and they wrapped the wires around you that never even worked for them. Their parents wrapped them in some wires that didn't make them happy, but they don't know any better, so they keep wrapping you in those same wires that never worked for them. Does that make any sense? Absolutely not. How you been wrapped up? You don't even know how you've been wrapped up, but you think this is you? My friend, This is not even your final form. How you doing, Bubba? Now you're from Australia now. It's no wonder people are having mental difficulties out there nowadays. And now people are getting programmed by social media algorithms and YouTube algorithms and becoming like that meme, that NPC meme. Speaking of which, I wonder how my NPC shitcoin is going. Here we go on CoinGecko. Let's just put in NPC, see what we get. God damn it. But seriously, how have you been wrapped up? It takes a little self-reflection. First, you have to understand that you've been wrapped up. You don't see it from the outside, right? It's just, oh, it's a nice form, it's a nice shape. But you take a look closer and you see all the wires, all the hooks, everything that is binding or constricting this plant or human into a certain shape or form. That's why I believe the Bujinkan martial art, for me, gave me tremendous ability physically, but also gave me the ability to see myself and start to unwrap my wires because no one else is coming. You got to see your wires. You got to unwrap yourself. You got to free yourself. You got to yourself, right? And just being able to see those wires, that's the hardest part. Like I didn't even know bonsai had wires. And you can see those. How are you supposed to know you've got wires on yourself? You can't even see them, but they're there. And the last thing Sensei said for this story was, you wouldn't go to a forest and see a bonsai there because it's not a natural state. And that's why in my dojo, I try not to constrict and bind my students up. I want them to reach their full potential in their own body, in their own way, in a joyful and playful manner. Tell me in the comments below, have you seen some wires on yourself? Have you started to unravel yourself? Or what's it like now that you've freed yourself? If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you feel so inclined. And if you're feeling generous, you can make a donation at the links in the show notes below. Really appreciate your support. But most of all, please leave a comment below because that helps the YouTube gods to bless us and helps us build more community and connect with great people around the world. And remember, wherever you are, whatever you're going through, life is an amazing, beautiful adventure. Don't let anybody tell you different. And I'll leave you with this great message from, I believe, Alan Watts.
In 100 years, in 2124, we will all be buried with our relatives and friends. Strangers will live in our homes which we fought so hard to build, and they will own everything we have today, including that car you spent a fortune on. Our descendants will hardly know who we were. How many of us know our grandfather's father? After our death, we will be remembered for a few years, and a few years later, our history, our photos, our deeds go into the dustbin of oblivion. We won't even be memories. Maybe if one day we stopped to analyze these questions, we would understand how ignorant and weak the dream of obtaining everything was, always having more and more without having time for the things that are really worthwhile in this life.
So remember, boys and girls, there are no stupid questions, just stupid translators.